So me hear the arguments, you know, Jesus Christ and all these things, and me I say it non-apologetically, you know. We not work with Jesus Christ, you know. Yeah, we not work with Jesus Christ, and that guy lick a whole heap of head. Cause a whole heap of man hear Rasta say, Haile Selassie is the second coming of Jesus Christ. Me none of them joke there. Me not in those joke. You know, see it? Me none of them joke there. Cause we never come in a Rasta to come here about Jesus Christ again. After we know, say, the man they make up some things and dash per way. Before we go to the root of the conversation, we are listening to them third and fourth hand views. So we don't really into the Jesus thing. And we're not praying to no Jesus and says Haile Selassie we are praying to. Because we're not even praying to Haile Selassie neither. I don't go to bed and say, oh, Haile Selassie what in Zion. I don't say those things. You know, because this is a revolution. Rastafari is the answer to white supremacy and colonialism. That is where it was bound for. Man, I come try to change it now in a one love, one heart, let's get together and be all right and all them something like him want have a 24/7, 56 weeks, 360 odd days a year, 2,000 years in a millennium, and really claim it as redemption because him can facilitate certain music. Yes. Because most man know, because him have facilitate certain music, him feel says this right there. Most Rasta no musician. Most Rasta is not musician. Sorry to disappoint you. Most Rasta is not musician. It's just that the ones them who do music, them have the voice. Like how me dey on the radio all the while, people hear my voice all the while, so it come like Muta is a Rasta voice. But there are so many voices of Rastafari out there. But we really have come to grips with the theology and the philosophy where Rasta supposed to deal with in at this time, yeah. And even in at this time, I give the COVID sensibilities that is creating certain hardship and certain levels of scaredom. We will call it scaredom. We need to get a grip of ourselves as Rasta. We need to get a grip, man. We can't continue going like we never did reach a certain level. We reach a certain level, so we are going like we reach River Jordan and want to turn back. We not turn back. We not have a search for River Jordan neither. We are create our own river. And we not sit down by no rivers up no Babylon. Because you know, long way man I sing that. But by rivers of Babylon, them sat down and there we wept when he remember Zion. And the wicked carry us away in captivity, require us a song. How can we sing King Alpha song in a strange land? Yet still every day a man make a song about Jah Rastafari. We have to figure it out, you know. We have to figure it out. Bob Marley say, too much mix up. We have to be straight like an arrow. Yeah, man, we can't just go this and make the wind just a lick back over this like some boat. We don't have no rudder. We have to be straight like an arrow, man. So if you deal with the thing, just deal with the thing. But I go around and I come back around and I go around like circle, you know, you go around in circles and go around in circles. No, straight. Leonard Owil. Sure with that. Marcus Garvey. Yeah, man. The man there sure with certain things. Some people don't even know about Leonard Owil. You hear about Leonard Owil, you don't even know who's in Leonard Owil. You know, you have Martimo Plano. Yeah, man. The man they stand up. What we call no Bono G. Like Rock of Gibraltar. Them stand up there and no move. You them are going like them are skid out the thing, a pretty out the thing. Yeah, like a pretty thing are going. you know, Cha-Cha Rasta. You know? It's weird. It's weird, man. No, sir. In my house, there is a picture on the wall. Rastafari sit up on his throne. Yes. We're not equating Haile Selassie with no one, because we cannot make Haile Selassie lesser or greater than who him is. So all the names them where you put on him, you know, all the names them where you attach to it, cannot make him greater or lesser than who him is. So just accept him just like that. You don't have to send him gone 2,000 years ago. You don't have to talk about him dip and cross and come back. All them little illusions is not necessary in Rastafari. Rastafari is facing the reality of life. Rastafari is showing African people that there is another way to look at life in the Western world. So we go to the root of mankind, which is Ethiopia. We go to the root of man, which is Ethiopia. And we find something that is binding us together to make our life here in this part of the world and this farmer slave plantation island more meaningful and more purposeful to understand ourselves. And we have people who have guided us over the years. Man like Marcus Garvey, who say Africa for Africans, those at home and those abroad, who make us recognize that it's a simple journey, but you have to make up your mind to take the journey. Because one step and you tumble. One step and you can't tumble. Yet still them say 1,000 miles start with that one step. And a whole heap of man tumble, you know. A whole heap of man tumble, but the journey continue even if you tumble and can't bother. It's just so it goes. Uncensored. Hear what I go now. A whole heap of people out there I try and make the people them who are wear masks, them I make it look like say them people they are idiot. One woman write me last week and say me is a conformist. She said we are conformists, but you know. You see this mask thing? You see this what them call separate, like keep far from people. We explain that already now. We talk about it on the stepping razor. We talk about it on this program, yeah. And we still have to talk about it because the COVID not gone, you know. The COVID not gone. Because more people have it now in Jamaica and more people are dead in Jamaica and more people are start get scared and frightened. All right. Human being seems as if we still not learn from history. History teach a whole heap of things, you know, that you don't really step forward in the mistakes where you make of whole. No, I don't know if a whole heap of Jamaican people know this, or if them didn't know it, they wouldn't have followed the whole heap of madness where they must sip on them WhatsApp and them Instagram page and Facebook page and all them something. But I want to tell the Jamaican people them this. Mankind have been displaced before. Them passed this road before. You have flu, you have all kind of things will come through. And the same things them where you hear them and say you must do now is that them did say when those flu did pass through. It is not true. I'm never say it non-apologetically. It is not true that the man them or whosoever wanted to wear mask and stay in your house because they want to control the population. It is not true. Now, I don't know, some people gone too far already for go turn back now in the whole heap of madness. But there is no evidence or proof that apart from where you have, say, where people are trying to push the Trumpian doctrine, because right now I call it Trump doctrine, because it's a Trump doctrine. Anytime you hear a man say, him don't have no mask thing, I say, boy, you know, the Trump doctrine. Anytime you hear a man talk about, say, boy, right now, you don't want physical distance because you don't understand why they have to live a physical distance. You don't want nobody take your temperature. You don't want nobody rub things by your... I tell it already, you know. If you don't want a man put things by your hand, carry your own. If you don't want somebody rub anything by your hand, carry your own. No. Here's the problem now. The problem with it is that people almost take this thing like it's a movement, a no-mask movement, a Trumpian designed movement. But Trump now, as the most so-called, most powerful man for earth, according to what the American them say, because he refused to wear mask and he make thousands of people now wear it. We over here saw jump on it and attack damn foolishness. But mask will kill you off and mask. Look here. Every pandemic we pass through earth, them show you that the mask thing is something that work. I mean, I just look on what these guys are saying, all the CDC guys are saying. Coming at definitely now look on what Trump are do. But me now just listen to CDC and World Health Organization. Me look on historical things that happen. You know, the flu them we pass through. You have flu we pass through and kill millions of people more than this one, you know. Because this one you must have gone about 1 million. In America it gone 200,000. But the same thing will lick America in the 1918s or something which part it there. It's the same thing I hit them now with 200,000 people dead in America because them never take heed to what they must do to prevent the thing from spreading. So them start come up with some weird things now like herding and all these thinking just make the thing kill everybody. Make the thing kill who to want to kill. And then you will get the thing stop travel. It's a madness. Anybody where you hear say that, it's madness. It's American talk that. It's an American talk. We tell people say, boy, right now, herd. Well, you just pile up the people them who more receptive to it and help them and then make everybody run go out, them mask and no mask. Make them run go out, do them do. It's madness. It's madness. There is things that can prevent it from spread. Common sense should have shown you that. Common sense can show you that there's certain things that the virus is not a living organism. It's not a living thing. But it moves when people move. It moves when people move in the body of other people and contaminate the body and make it easier for your next person to catch it. And everybody can catch it. All when you wear mask, you can't catch it. But may I say, you see the mask thing, and you see the physical distance thing, and you see the no crowd, don't go in and a whole heap of crowd and everything there. This thing is something that happened before. It's not now it happened. They never come up with this. No, because they want to control the people then. They want to control the virus. So if me sound like me, I take up for men and people, so be it. It's tough luck if you want to say that. Me I say that there is certain things that can prevent it from move and lessen the sickness and the agony and the pain we a whole heap of people have got through and the whole heap of mental this and now me and my wife a reason a while ago and she said it not gonna work if them door open the place and the people them, I tell the people them for wear masks. Listen to what she say, you know. I should have really wake her up out of bed, make she come out and come talk about it, you know. Anyway, she say, it not going to work if the people them don't have no work and them tell them must wear the mask. So all you have to do is get the people them for wear the mask and open up the place. It's simple. And me agree. Open up the place, but make sure that the people them are, you know what that means? That means you have to go make the mask mandatory, because these people don't have to talk about Bill Gates and this and this and that. Them not going to do it. So you have to make it, as other countries, mandatory. Other countries do it. They make it mandatory and open up the place. Yeah, them say in a certain country, Taiwan and all them places, them don't close down the place, but them make it say you have to have on a mask. You know, see it? It's a ball, so you go jail. She say if you don't have on the mask, you must go jail, because then those you're gonna cause the place not to open up. All right, so I agree with it. But you see, Jamaican people now, we're gone so deep in the foolishness, you know, that you can't tell people certain things that say, look, you know, if everybody are wear the mask, you know, see it, you could have any party and still keep a distance away from them and have the party said way, but most Jamaican people now, because I tell them about party now, everybody bungle up and one another, so some people have no mask, like Trump meeting them. Because if you look on Trump beating them, you know, and the people them behind him in the picture of all the bars, you know, but them show you, I think, him not have none. And, hey, you see Trump sing a dance to YMCA. You know what the Trump dance to YMCA? If you ever do a who sing YMCA to your thing. Anyway, all right, what I say is that the place can't open up, you know. The place can't open up without the curfew, without nothing, the curfew. But the people have to put on their mask. It's just simple, you know. It's a scientific thing about it, you know. Open up the place, make everybody go out to them and do, but everybody put on a mask. We're wrong with that. You'd have prefer don't open up the place and more people catch it. And some people have on the mask and some people don't have on the mask. No, sir. Because the mask not going to kill nobody. I can't do what some idiot people are talking about. Me understand that about carbon dioxide or breathing and something, but you're not having all the mask long enough to get that death sentence. Because look how long you use your cell phone in your ears and you're not getting no death sentence. You tell me, say, the cell phone have more destructive things in it than the mask. So, sensibility, sensible. All right, listen to it now, sensible. You want business going as usual, but there's a disease there. A virus, sorry, not disease. There's a virus out there that will kill people, that will make people sick. And one of the ways to lessen the problem is to wear a mask. If you wear the mask, and the people them open back the place, and people keep wearing the mask, the thing will get lessened, because it will have no, the virus not going to move. Because if a man cough, him cough in the mask. If a man sneeze, him sneeze in the mask. It will go spread. If you keep the distance, it's just so it go. There's a logic behind it, you know. It's years it happening, you know. You have flu on top of flu on top of flu will pass through earth. Flu on top of flu. And if you look on the history, if you look on the people them, you see them about them masks. As a matter of fact, in California, them did say, them make masks mandatory. If you don't have no mask, them could arrest you. You know, see, it's just simple. And that are from before me, anybody on the earth never ever born yet. Because them think they're in 1918, 1910. All them way them. We don't know nobody in the earth born 1918. You understand? Nobody in Jamaica never alive. And them days the man them tell you say put on your mask. And every time the people them now adhere to it, the thing go up. Till them have first wave, second wave, third wave, and fourth wave, you know. Put on the mask and go to your work. Put on your mask and go do what you do. It's just simple, you know. Keep the distance from people if in a crowd and them something there. And you go back at your work, you go make money, school open and all them something there. But if you not do that, you're going to continue to say, Babylon want control you, this and that want control you. No go so. No go so. Nobody no want control you, at least not now. Nobody not controlling you now. You know, see, you have scientifically, you look at it scientifically. Some people have said, why them now wear no mask because Jesus will protect them. It's madness. It's total madness. A man now go wear the mask because Jesus will protect him. It's total madness. Oh, somebody get it away there. Anyway, we want to move talk to history. We're going to play a documentary about the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu did lick Earth, especially Europe and America, in a 1918, I think, 1918. And them really recover. How the Earth recover. That is really where this documentary talk about. How the Earth recover from the Spanish flu. So, we're going to play the Spanish flu documentary. I want you to listen to it carefully. And if you don't realize it's the same thing I think we are now. This is the Cutting Edge on IRFM.
Just over 100 years ago, a deadly pandemic swept across the face of planet Earth, killing anywhere between 20 and 100 million people. Potentially far more than the Great War immediately preceding it. Yet, until recently, this was a forgotten pandemic, downplayed by governments and media outlets all over the world. Known as the Spanish flu, simply because the Republican leadership in Spain at the time continued to report on it when other governments refused. It's only in the last few decades that the sheer scale and historical significance of such an outbreak has been realised, potentially having just as much impact on humanity as the First World War. Like earlier pandemics in history, all the way back to the Plague of Athens, the Antonine Plague, the Plague of Justinian, and most famously, the Black Death. This was a deadly disease, particularly for people who had almost no knowledge of how to fight it, killing off huge swathes of the population. Between 1918 and 1920, somewhere between a half and 2/3 of the world's population were infected, with an indiscriminate death rate of around 5%. Nowhere near that of the Black Death, but enough all the same. In the much more interconnected world of the 20th century, the young affected just as much as the old. On a whole, the majority of people survived, which is precisely why the disease was so deadly, allowing it to spread to every corner of the globe. Yet, after the mass graves were filled, after each one of these deadly plagues in history subsided, the people returned, picked up where they'd left off, recovered. Sometimes finding themselves in much better positions than they'd been in before. After the Black Death in the 14th century, the peasantry in England, fewer in numbers and higher in demand, got a new lease on social mobility. For some historians, paving the way for the emergence of the middle class to come. After the plague in the 17th century, it's been argued that social unrest led to the success of the parliamentary system, the end of absolute power in the hands of a monarch in England. And, of course, after the Spanish flu, we have the Roaring Twenties. Though brief and often overshadowed by the Great Depression of the 1930s and the Second World War which followed, this was a new era of prosperity, of social mobility and change. So then, how did the world bounce back from the Spanish flu? Let's take a look. The influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1919 takes the title of deadliest and most widespread pandemic in history. With census records of the time either difficult to decipher or non-existent, it remains impossible to arrive at a completely accurate figure of the death toll, though experts today think it may have been as high as 100 million. With the absolute lowest figures around the 20 million mark. With an overall world population at the time of less than 2 billion, the implications are staggering. In the United States alone, at least 675,000 Americans lost their lives. Worldwide, well over 500 million people were infected. Yet, somehow, despite the major global conflict and the pandemic which followed, much of the world bounced back from the damage with a fury. The US notably surging into the prosperous Roaring Twenties, and even Germany enjoying a brief decade of stability and growth under the Weimar Republic. Until everything changed with the Wall Street crash of 1929. All this in an age before air travel, when most people stayed in one area for their whole lives. So then, how did this virus spread in the first place? When the H1N1 influenza virus first struck, the US had been fighting in the European theatre of the First World War for more than a year. Tens of thousands of men regularly travelled across the Atlantic to the front, and production lines boomed in efforts to produce war material and combat gear. It was during this mass population movement that the first reports of illness began to appear. First at Fort Riley in Kansas in March, and shortly afterwards, New York. Due to the high population density of soldiers at the camp, the flu spread rapidly, quickly infecting around 1,100 people. 38 of these succumbed to pneumonia. Like any cold or flu, the Spanish flu spread to new hosts through droplets propelled into the air when a person sneezed, coughed, or even talked. Able to survive outside the body for extended periods of time, these droplets could then be transmitted by touch. The movement of people continued unabated, however. The war effort simply could not be halted. No individual had that power. But in order to maintain high morale as the war effort swung in favour of the Allied powers, European governments, then having a stranglehold over the media, heavily understated the severity of the disease. Meanwhile, news reports began surfacing from the other European powers, claiming that infection rates in Britain, France and Germany remained minimal, while neutral Spain was particularly hard hit. Thus, the Spanish flu, almost certainly born on a Kansas farm, was named. As army recruits travelled from America to Europe, and soldiers on medical leave continued to return home, the disease rapidly spread between the two continents, and before long, further afield. As much as their governments tried to deny it, writing it off as nothing more than an unusually virulent strain of flu, European nations like England, France, Italy and Germany, as well as Spain, were hit badly as the virus took a hold of their populations. At first, though the illness was widespread, most of the deaths were in elderly people and infants. This strain having next to no mnemonic effect on healthy men and women between the ages of 20 and 40. As spring merged into summer, new infections plateaued and dropped off, causing many to believe the worst was over. Whatever loose social distancing rules that had been put in place were cancelled, in anticipation of the disease mostly being eradicated. Since ordinary people didn't have the means nor the education to deal properly with the virus, especially given the war effort, scientists had limited tools and data to work with anyway. Most countries did not respond adequately. During this first wave, the general lack of awareness didn't seem like much of an issue. For the most part, life returned to normal, if it had even been disrupted in the first place. Yet, all this was to change. Whilst America and Europe eased their restrictions, the coming end of the war being celebrated worldwide, the Spanish flu had another trick up its sleeve. In the medical camps of Europe, filled with tens of thousands of vulnerable, recovering soldiers, a much more dangerous and merciless strain was mutating. This version of the virus directly attacked the respiratory system, making it especially contagious and deadly. This strain of the flu did not discriminate, with all age groups under threat. When the second wave of Spanish flu dawned in the autumn and the winter of 1918, Europe and America, linked to almost every corner of the globe by an elaborate series of trade networks and imperial colonies, were struck almost entirely unprepared. No effective cures, drugs or antibiotics were present to combat the sweeping spread of the second wave virus, resulting in a terrifyingly high infection and fatality rate. With already weakened immune systems due to the physical and mental traumas of battle they'd suffered, soldiers returning from the front were particularly hard hit. Having endured all the horror of years of brutal trench warfare, often living in terrible conditions, medical professionals watched on helplessly as these men, the greatest generation, succumbed by the thousand, drowning in their own mucus as their lungs filled with fluid. Failing to implement any sort of nationwide lockdown or strategy to combat the spread, it didn't take long for this new, deadlier version of Spanish flu to take hold. Tens of thousands of deaths soon became hundreds of thousands, and finally, millions. For lack of a better option, for the most part, the Spanish flu was simply left to run its course. A vaccine wouldn't be developed until the 1940s. In America, plans to counter the second wave of flu varied from state to state and city to city. In Philadelphia, the public health director told civilians that the returning soldiers were simply suffering from flu caught on the front, and that the infection would soon be contained. Amidst constant warnings from scientists that the virus called for much more drastic action, the city of Philadelphia still refused to call off its Liberty Loan Parade on the 28th of September. A particularly fast-acting illness, the very next day, hospitals were crammed. A few days later, the death rate in Philadelphia surged. With no more hospital beds available, infected individuals were simply turned away. Faced with an overwhelming number of cases, Philadelphia was finally forced to close its schools, theatres and public spaces. But not before it suffered more than 750 deaths per 100,000 people, and many more infections. In comparison, St. Louis had capped this rate at about 350 deaths per 100,000. As a result of poor advice and overconfidence, many American cities experienced tragic spikes in their death rates. Late implementation of social distancing measures spelt death for a great deal of citizens living in urban centres, where the flu spread like wildfire through neighbourhoods, in shops and out on the streets. By the end of October, in the United States alone, more than 200,000 people had died from the virus. In the coming weeks, as the severity and non-discriminatory nature of the situation dawned, a hard-fought battle would be waged to recoup losses and flatten the curve. Meanwhile, bodies were piled up into makeshift morgues, and one writer complained that Philadelphia had 10 times as many bodies as coffins. All over the world, this second wave virus struck, indiscriminately killing off large numbers of people, particularly in cities and densely populated areas. Finally, by December, the statistics, where they existed, seemed to look good. The virus was wearing itself out, the death rate finally lowering. This outbreak wouldn't subside until the early summer, months later. Once again, a certain level of incompetence reigned, as national and local leaders simply failed to act quickly enough. In some cities, restrictions were enforced again, but in others, again, measures came too late, though not quite as late as the first and second wave. Public transport faced shortages in personnel, and again, many people simply refused to wear face masks or obey social distancing rules. When caught, this earned them fines, and in a couple of cases, bullets from the police forces. Tensions ran hot, often vented as criticism. After close to 2 years, the world could move on. In the immediate aftermath of the Spanish flu, many parts of the world, including the US and Europe, faced economic recession. Between 1920 and 1921, the US was hit particularly badly. Robert Barrow, professor of economics at Harvard University, estimates that the increase in flu-related deaths reduced GDP and consumption in the US by approximately 6%, as well as increasing inflation rates in the economy. The world had been tested by war, disease, and poverty. But by 1921, finally, things seemed to be on the up. In the US in particular, partly due to increased wages for workers and a growing focus on consumer manufacturing, the economy boomed. By 1929, growing by around 42%. For the survivors, life became healthier too, with life expectancy steadily growing and an increased investment in science and medicine, leading to newfound understanding of how viruses spread and how better to contain them in the future. Unsurprisingly, soap and pharmaceutical companies made a killing from the pandemic, selling their products with the help of newspaper adverts. This too helped the US economy to get going again after the flu subsided. Larger research budgets for infectious disease laboratories and consumer spending on medicine and health products helped organizations and small businesses grow after the end of the pandemic, resulting in economic benefits and a greater interest in developing technology, which eventually spilled over into the public sphere, creating consumer electronics, a new market which would revolutionize the world. The massive production of materials like guns and artillery shells during the war further catalyzed improvements in factory organization and production line machinery, allowing automobiles, electronics, and other consumer-oriented goods to be manufactured quicker and sold at higher quantities. No longer needing to fulfill targets for war products, other businesses too soon became involved in mass-producing items for the general public. Notably, cars becoming more widely available than ever before, creating never-before-available opportunities in the process. And in this entrepreneurial climate, new businesses sprung up. In its mid to late stages, the Spanish flu killed off millions of healthy young men and women. This, on top of the deaths from the war, resulted, in the US at least, in a shortage of workers. Those who'd lost their jobs at small or unessential businesses that had been shut down during the pandemic found new work at factories and assembly lines, where the demand for workers skyrocketed and the qualifications required were minimal. For the most part, those who wanted work could find it. And sometimes, as the power of unions grew, they could demand more for their services than ever before, increasing social mobility and eventually leading to the establishment of the American middle class. A shortage of labour due to the pandemic, in due course, gave rise to escalated workers' wages, meaning that as the Roaring Twenties dawned, for the first time, many US citizens could spend a portion of their paycheck on astounding new consumer devices like vacuum cleaners, cars, and refrigerators. Cutting-edge appliances for the 1920s. As American capital poured into post-war Europe, this prosperity, to a certain extent, filtered in there too. Even Germany enjoying a brief period of economic boom and social freedom. As demand for fuel skyrocketed, Texas became rich from the oil industry. New roads were built to accommodate cars, resulting in greater mobility and, in turn, better job opportunities. Consumer spending steadily surged upwards. For the first time in US history, more people lived in urban centres than in the country, giving rise to better healthcare access for millions of people, better work opportunities, and the chance to indulge in newly invented technology. So, as an unusual side effect of Spanish flu, workers' wages soared. Increased investments were made in scientific research and technology, better healthcare systems put in place, and greater levels of consumer spending than ever before. The US became a lender for the first time, rather than a debtor. But perhaps, most of all, the influenza pandemic of 1918 to 1920 gave people a change in perspective towards their own lives, encouraging them to go out and enjoy themselves while they could. Unfortunately, this heedlessness towards the dangers of economic instability, much like the events leading up to the 2008 financial crash, would create a massive economic bubble. What goes up must come down. In 1929, much of the progress wrought as a result of unbridled laissez-faire capitalism would be undone when the New York stock market suffered its worst collapse in history, ultimately leading to intense poverty and hardship in places like Germany that had been propped up by US investment, where for a time wheelbarrows full of cash were needed to buy a simple loaf of bread. As well as American Midwest farmers who starved to death in droves. By the 1930s, partly as a result of this economic depression, fascism was on the rise, and another intensely difficult era began. But that's a story for another day. Thanks for watching. My name's Pete Kelly.
Yes. So we play that documentary for a special reason. What is the reason? A whole heap of people who is spouting this and spouting that don't realize the earth go through this more than one, more than two, more than three times before. So the stringent steps that people ask you to make is really something where was asked before, because of the same thing that took place. It's not the first a virus like this passed through, not the second or the third time. You know, it passed through already. Not the same one, but similar to it. And the same thing them tell you. Because that is the way how it spread. It spread through your nose, through your mouth, touching on all these places. You know, a man sneeze on a place and you touch it, a man cough on a place or a talk too loud to you, or a laugh. Ironically, he might laugh and spread it. So I say, one must think. And if you get the information like what we are getting now, because we are say, if the watchman see the danger and don't want the people, the blood of the people will be on his shoulder. And as many people say it, many people say it, and people kind of shun it. We hope that the voice, the cutting edge voice, will make a difference into this craziness that is going around the place. We hope that what we did tonight in terms of playing that documentary for make people know, say, is not the first people that tell people to wear masks or really at physical distance. It's not the first people that say that. And you hear how much people the man said dead with the Spanish flu. Millions. Not thousands, millions. Because right now, they must say the world gone about 1 million dead, but the man are talk about 60 million, nearly 100 million. Can you imagine that? And that is not the worst thing, because I remember the Black Plague. We played the documentary on the Black Plague already in Europe. 75% of the population in Europe dead. 75%. Them call it the Black Plague. Dead. You understand? So, we have to take a stock and don't make people make you get scared of that ways, because you know, in all of that, America come back round, Europe come back round. 100 years ago, 100 years after, America is so-called the richest country on earth. America is the most stupidest country on earth. And it's just America that. And everybody want to go to America, land of opportunity and bliss. You know, Europe, all these places. You know, you them say nothing about Africa up to now, you know, but Africa get it on. Because them liquid with Ebola. Liquid with all sort of like a sneaking disease where it's not pandemic, but epidemic. You know what I'm saying? So we are look upon it and I say, we reach a stage now when we see this thing go on. Now, use your sensibility, man. Use your sensibility. You can't see people are here, people are dead, and people are getting sick, and then you are say, boy, right now, a joke, them a lie, them a tell and all them. So lie, them a tell what? Why have somebody that tell you a lie? Say 100,000 people dead over here, so in Europe, so how much people dead? Why them a tell you a lie? When we just hear about it, we say, yeah man, I know so much people dead, the hospital them open, nobody know the hospital them, a lie them a tell. Then the after hear them jump up, and say, oh, them not tell them what people dead, and more people are dead than what them a tell me. These things not working, man. We did hear say Trump and the WHO, Fauci, and when Bill Gates are work together. Now we hear Trump against World Health Organization, draw out America, the World Health Organization. We hear him against Fauci, him against Uchi, and all of the young party no against it and him wife, and him wife stop travel with him because she say she not travel because she feel away. Just today, him supposed to go somewhere, one of them mass meeting there, and she said, well, she can't take no more, you know. She kind of feel away, she cough too much. So she gone back at the White House, go sleep. You understand? So, it's a thing. I have no fear of men and people and them plans, and them evil plans and wicked plans. Because I am very conscious what they will do and what they will try to do. All I know is there's certain things that is happening that I am not going to give credence to certain things when I realize, but wait, if you put 1 and 1 equal 2, and that is where you're going to get when you add 1 and 1. If you get something else, you're wrong. You know, see that you're going, after a while, you're going to say you did wrong. After a while, you're going to say you did wrong. The problem with it, you know, is that most of those people are going to show you, say, you wrong, you know, Muta, watch and see. You're going to see what's going to happen. Yeah, when they bring the vaccine and all that. So I don't care a damn about vaccine. I don't care about vaccine. You understand? Yeah, them matter what, yeah, they say them want to test it in Africa. Look here, they might test it in America. They might test it in England. Yeah, they might, yeah, some people come in today. Some people come forward to make them inject the virus in them, you know, to test the vaccine. That is what you hear the woman I say. Why she do it is because she knows that she's gone and she'll look on her children and will come after her. You know, see, in America, them take 3,000 people and test the vaccine plan to see if it will work. I hear Obama today attack, I want them say, they will give you the vaccine free. I hear the Prime Minister don't have to give you the vaccine free. So you know, if a man want to take the vaccine, him take the vaccine. If a man don't want to take the vaccine, him don't take the vaccine. You know, see? And if you're skeptical about it and you want to take it, just wait till all 6 months and see if anybody will drop down dead by it. And then you will find out, so no, but I'll take it, you know, because some people are dead. You know, see? But meanwhile, we have to watch what is going on with our surroundings. Our surroundings is very important. How you move. You remember the man attack said that them days they never have plane. So you never have plane in 1918, so people have to stay at the place. So people decide to them not take no bus, them go ride bicycle. You can't do that in Jamaica again, so you go ride bicycle, go downtown from where you live up here. So even though you can't do it still, but you have to get up early, like I'll know and start ride. So you live at Portmore, you live at Mandeville. You can't somebody here ride, come out work every day and go back and show up business. So if that is madness, the madness is that you keep going amongst people and not going like say it's a normal time we live in. It's not a normal time. It is abnormal. So a whole heap of things what we do, we find it very abnormal. Like some people don't want to stay at them yard because they want to move, socialize. It is abnormal. Human beings have a social DNA in them, so it's abnormal for them though, them can't get for go do that, so them get frustrated. But guess what? It's just a time. That's all you have to look at it, you know, so it's not gonna last forever. And if you can't really figure out say it's not gonna last forever, you're going to get more miserable than yourself when you think and say, sure, them know why I go downtown, I'm not going to go downtown, Rasta. Them know why I do this, I'm going to do this. Every time about we must stay down here, you know, see. It ever start make you get frustrated. But look on it. By next year, them time I will go down and say, right, remember last year we couldn't go keep our session and them big session. You know, yeah. And it's true that going to happen. That going to happen, you know. Because we have been this way before. We passed this road before. And we keep going round the circle and I come back round. And I realize, but wait, it look familiar, you know, but guess what? It's not familiar, but it's familiar. We have been this way before. What about human beings have been this way before? Human beings have been this way before. So there is no need to have a dreary contaminate yourself with all sorts of vain imaginations. Vain imaginations. You know, see it? 5G is the next thing that will happen, you know. It's all of that now, you know, the next problem that I get now. Because, first of all, them have 5G phone now. Them have 5G laptop. I don't know when that start to unleash itself now. It's that next thing that I get, you know. Because I remember the man will call me and tell me, say, the COVID is what's about the COVID again and the 5G? The COVID I give you 5G. It's for the 5G. The 5G I give you COVID. Well, a youth, it come and say something different about it, you know. They bring the COVID first and then the 5G after. But that is the next thing too. Because earlier in the year, Mr. Man attack in England, say MC bird that drop out of the sky. And when you look, it's a whole heap of bird that drop. And then him say the 5G I cause it. They man, they have some technical way to do them camera, I think, to make you really believe it. They have all two old man, well, doctor, you know, look like doctor, professor, this and all, this, that, from this, that. I tell you, say, look here, all of this thing is a hoax. There's no such thing as COVID, and it's a hoax, and this and that. A joke business. I could have said them things I go on earth and I've said about nothing exists. I must just go and do what I do normally. No, sir. I not do that. I doing that. I prefer catch it at go I prefer catch it, try not to catch it, than be an idiot and catch it and realize I could have stopped it. It's just so. Anyway, this is the cutting edge. Magma coming through, talking about the American dream. Everybody want to go to America. I don't know about now still, but look like everybody want to leave America. Tables go around the other way. 220,000 people pass away because of this COVID thing. And them gone like 8 million people were affected in at this time when the cold time come on and the flu. Because you know, there are two things they have to go contend with now, you know. The COVID and the regular flu. May I tell you, vaccination like worries. Pure juke up. Yes. Make your works be seen, man. Not just talk it, but make them see it. Yes. Because you know, say, we's a light, you know. We's a light. It's like a candle on a mountainside, you know. Dark, but the light guide you. So we have to know that we are lights of the world, man. Many people sometimes come say, Muta, tell me something, like how you don't eat meat, or where you eat. The problem with them little argument there, you know, is like, people feel say vegetarian and have no choice, and them have more choice, but people who have meat don't have no whole heap of choice to eat. Them just eat meat. May I tell you, Maccabee tree lick we give me, you know, out of Birmingham, the brethren have some serious poetry. May I tell you, man, him flexing the poetry straight. This is the Cutting Edge on RFM. You know, when the program starts with that about Rasta and how Rasta seem to like a follow Christian so much now that them start to, all of them song, them start to sound like Christian. And you know, a whole heap of Rasta out there will tell you, say them are Christian, them are the first Christian, Africa was the first Christian and all them something there. We know how the origination of Jesus Christ come about. We know, say, really and truly, a whole heap of it a make-up. We know, say, the book them where them give Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We know, say, whether the Bible will tell you, say, them man that it exists. It's just the book of according to Matthew, according to Mark. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John is not Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Because I grew up for years, so them was the apostles of Christ who used to walk up and the disciples. Not no go so. Not no go so. Then the next one, named Paul, is really a problem. Because problem look like him Paul look like him did a whole heap of food, and him say a light, a bright light strike him on the way to Damascus. And him get this revelation of Jesus Christ, where him things them right long before Matthew, Luke, and John, and him never meet Jesus Christ yet. Nobody don't know where Jesus Christ buried. Them say him gone back, him raised from the dead and gone. Which part him gone? People feel up in the sky. This man sit up in the sky for 2,000 years. Where him get clothes from? For change him clothes and water and all them something there. It's a joke business. Joke, serious joke. So we come now and we say, look here, we are going to deal with our experience, our way of living, and create something for ourselves. So a man come and say, a foolish is your talk, man. You don't believe in a God. People ask them questions, you don't believe in a God. And when you ask him, say, when you say God, what you mean? And so you mean what you mean when you say God? I say, God, the man who created you and me. And I say, but God not create me. Right away, it's miserable. Him get miserable now when you tell him, say, God not create. Remember a brethren, big singer too. Big singer. The first time me and him are going to have some reasoning. It's like, it turned out to me, sure they just walk away. Because after me, I tell him about God, and me I say, boy, well, me don't know. Him say, who make the trees? Me say, boy, me don't know it. The man bring me outside of the house and look up at the sky and say, who make the star? Me say, I don't know. The man vexed with me for about how much I chew. I don't know, I chew me not really old grudge at all really why. Me still talk to him, but the man go like say me the wickedest person you ever meet. How me for go say me don't know who made the sky star. How me for go know how me go for go talk about me don't know who made the tree. And me I say, but me really don't know. I don't know who make the tree. I would have played the service. I go tell you, say, no, me know, say, a God make the tree. I don't know. Because I have so much God. Even the God in the Bible I say, thou shalt have no other God but me. That means other gods didn't exist, but him no one. You have no other God but him. So it kind of get away that we as Rasta now come create something for ourselves and then I lean back on the things them where them tell we. Those old-time religion. Old-time religion can't help you now. Because old-time religion carry come here so in a bondage and slavery and take over brains and all them something there. We need to come out of that. We need to go to the root of people with the knowledge of them history. It's like a tree without root. It's just simple. So we have to find the root, you know. And all of the things them I tell you stem from something else. Long before. But people now are examining, just like how we played the tape a while ago about the flu. So if you tell them, say, without playing the tape, and you go to a man on the road and say, you know, say people are wearing masks from the 1918 or 100 years ago because you have a flu like this you come around. You know, say, Muta, where you get them things from? Well, Muta, you can come up with some things, see? Which flu? No flu never about like this. And then me and him go down in an argument now, and then we have to go walk when now. And then so you see them boy, the Muta, or if it's a little other one, them now will call me boy, I'm going to say, where the man come from, come with them argument there. But here we know, history is not imagination, you know. History is something that happened, physically happened. History physically happen is not belief. Your belief that it's happening in the past is where you believe. It not have nothing to do with the reality of the situation. You know, man believes a man did dead and come up out of grave and come up back. I wish I asked him which part him them say him gone up in the sky to come again. In this 21st century, who must believe them something there? You know how long him supposed to come and him not come. Look how much things black people are going through. The pressure where black people are going through. And him not say black people are come through all of them something if you come stand up in night and say no, this can't continue for another how much 300, 400 years. Then some people get off with it. Some people know saying Jesus and them control the world. And you are say Jesus and you is the one who them a control. It's a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing. So we couldn't look on this thing and all like say, everything for them is for me. So just like how them use it, me go use it too. No, sir. We create my own thing. We create our own thing. Nobody can tell you say you're wrong. Because him don't know what he must say more than him believe what he must say. Him believe say, you know, like your grandmother still don't gonna believe this thing. And your great grandmother, and she dead and no Jesus can't come yet. And your grandmother dead and except for she and grandmother. But why heal up she and grandmother who are 102-year-old? Yes, Shane. Yeah, man. I want to heal up she and grandmother who are 102-year-old. She born when the plague, the virus, the Spanish flu start. That's a wonderful thing. 102-year-old. Me not go so far still, you know. Me not go so far, man. No, man. Me not go so far. Really and truly. I don't want to reach out, well, maybe I should healthy too, you know. Maybe she, but she not going to live long, you know, because them say, entire people, all your DNA, you kind of have that longevity in your DNA. So, yes, sir. Happy birthday, Mama. Happy birthday anyway you're there. I hope she ain't going to look for you, you know. She ain't, I hope you're going to look for your mother, your grandmother, you know. Shane.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. We are going to do that.
Shane answer me, you know. Oh, you're going to answer me, brethren. If you're going to look for your grandmother, you know, brethren.
Yes, man. I will answer Muta. Yeah, man.
Anyway, Shane answer me, man. Then oh, you're going to answer me. Talk to me.
I answer you, man, but because
when you're going there? Oh, the delay, yeah, true. I forgot about the delay, no. Sorry about that. That delayed long, man. No, man, 102 is something else, man. 102. Enough time that 100 years ago, when plane never did fly.
Yeah, man, up in a Mount Moriah,
you live in an age when plane never did fly. 100 years from now, you're going to hear people say, and that's where she come from.
Yeah, man, Mount Moriah, St. Ann, Borough Bridge area.
You, man. Anyway. Yeah. But, I want to tell you who come from up at them area. They told me, hey, she gonna know my wife, mother. She gonna know my wife, mother, believe you me. Anyway, we will take the other man come forward. This is the continuation of RFM. I know that's what a whole heap of one might say. My brother, they're crazy, you know. Yeah, man. We don't mind the crazy talk still. The crazy branding. So, we'll talk about Rastafari and how the thing, a whole heap of ones, especially the singer them. Yeah, let's them tune it so like it's a Sunday day them tune it to play. Cause I mean nobody now say I little again. Like I little appear Jah. Everybody has say Jah now because him no want to say I little a years me I say it, you know, you can't make I little greater or lesser than who him is. Jah in the Bible, Psalm 68, it started right up on the wing as Jah. Jah is a bastardization of Yah, Y-A-H, because them don't have no J in the Hebrew language. So J-A-H is English, them say Jah instead of Yah. So when a man say Jah, him don't necessarily have to talk about Haile Selassie. When you say Haile Selassie, is Haile Selassie I talk about. So we don't need to add no name on him, Jah Rastafari. We don't need to add nothing. You know, see, just take it as it is. Rastafari. Simple. Rastafari. Haile Selassie, the first. I just saw it go. You understand? We not stop say that because so it go. You got to start add things for him, is this and that and that and hey, me have a book right now, me have a book. It's a book, you know, with all the Haile Selassie's, what them call it, titles. Can you imagine a man have a book and him tell you about Haile Selassie titles in the book? And that book is about Haile Selassie titles, with all the titles them in it from everywhere. So can you imagine now you go call out film name? Ladies and gentlemen, we now present to you Emperor Haile Selassie, first order of the this and that, first right things, that. I'll tomorrow you don't call him, title them. You understand? So I said, oh, I just Rastafari, Haile Selassie. You don't have to say nothing else. You don't have to say God, you don't have to say Christ in his king, the character, you don't have to say Christ return, you don't have to say all them talk there. Because them think there's confusion. Confusion to the mind who out there now where I tell you say, but Haile Selassie are no God. Or you get that. You know, see? Because imagine God in a female head, I can't do with them tell him God created the heaven and the earth. And like when me look on the bridge and I say, me don't know who created it. Him vex with me. Because me don't know, but him know. Him knows your God. You understand? What is God? You can't say what is God to certain people. You have to say who is God. And that is the problem with it. You can't look on a man and say, why it created the heaven and the earth. And you must say, you can't call God it. Then all you know is it's right for call God God. Confusion. Confusion. It's really a confusion. It's a confusion, right? God. What is God? What is God? That is the question, you know. What is God, not who is God? Because you make God into a person, you know, so you try to make him become like human, anthropomorphic. Them call it anthropomorphism. where you give God all the attributes of a human being. So if it's who is God, and you say he is a human being you talk about, but most people, when them say God is not a human being they talk about, it's a it. But it sounds disgusting if you say it when you deal with God. But it's better you say it than say he. It's better you say it than say she. Some people are married half God. Some people married half God, you know. Say, if you have a God, you must have a goddess. So if God is at another level, you know. Alright, Haile Selassie is a man. And him have a wife who's a woman. It's simple. Simple things, you know. Simple things. You know, forgetting a whole heap of this and this and that. You know, it's just that you have to validate your perception and concept based upon a European logics. It's just so. Yes. The man say, let's all spread the love. Yeah, man, we have to spread the love. Because, you know, say, we want some more of that amongst each other. We want some more of that amongst each other. You know, what people are left church and I find God, you know. Yeah, because, you know, say, where them look for nothing at the church. 4 walls and sometimes 2-3 windows. Now go work out. So I say you have to go inside of yourself. You have to born again. Yeah, man, you have to born again, man. You have to throw away that and come again. And if you don't come again, you know, say, you're just stuck. And the thing is a process of evolution too. Yeah, you have to evolve. It's not a bad thing, you know. Some people afraid of evolution, you know. We're not about evolution as in Charles Darwin theory. We are talking about evolution as it relates to move it from one stage to the next level. Like climbing a ladder. You're moving from one stage to the next level. So, really and truly, that is what we're supposed to do. We can't stop. Some people stop. For years, them stuck. And can't move and can't get no further. Whether in life or in mind and thought, them can't move further. So we are promote evolution. The consciousness, the process by which you move from one stage to the next level. So you start to see things different from the level where you was. It's not a turn back, you know. Turn back is when you go down the ladder. You understand? Going up is when you climb the ladder. And we are talking about climbing the ladder of life, climbing the ladder of existence and of truth. And truth is relative. Truth is relative. Yes, because something might be true here, and you know, say it's not true over there, so we're not knock truth. We're not knock truth. Long man. We look out at the people, them is as blind as Batman. And we can't say that again. But you see, when one-eyed man lead you and you're blind, it's a terrible thing. In the kingdom of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And it really get away. Because when we listen and hear people say that them is covered in the blood of the Lamb so them can't catch COVID. Yet still, there's so much churches that the congregation have gotten COVID over the past 4 or 5 months. And people still insist to say that. Say, you who are doing this and I do that, it's because you don't have no faith. Because you don't have no faith. Believe you be. I want to ask a man, you know. He's a man in the Bible named Lazarus. And them say, Lazarus, the dead. And him in the tomb, a stink. And Jesus go there and say, Lazarus, come forth. And Lazarus get up out of the tomb and become a living. That's what I'm talking about, say. Jesus Christ raised from the dead. All right? So, Lazarus raised from the dead. Now, the question is, where is Lazarus today? Did he die again? I don't know, man, I got dead 2 times, but I want to know where's Lazarus. Did Lazarus dead again? Because we still waiting for Jesus to come. But Lazarus did raise from the dead and come back. Him dead and raised from the dead and come back with the aid of an next man. But we want to know where him there. Where him there. What is the purpose of raising a dead man from the grave and then know him dead again? What was the purpose of it? For sure, after you have a hobby, you can't do voodoo and something like that. Magic and all these things. It's just a, tell me which part him there. Tell me where him there. Some I recommend say those of you interested should get interested in reading some books that do have nothing to do with what you believe. Yeah, read some books where do have nothing. As a matter of fact, read some where contradict what you believe too. Yeah, read some book where contradict what you believe, but read some book. Go up online and look for things where you know say you don't agree with, but read it still and look on it. Because it's very important that you do these things. Yeah, the first sign of investigation is doubt, you know. Doubt make you want to go find out things and search things. So we have to tell the people them that as part of the process, as part of the whole thing. Because trust me, things not the same. Remember when your granny used to sit on veranda